about. Then eventually the girl started staying with them. The aunt, you can imagine how the heart of man can be so wicked. She actually, her grievances in all of this was not even the fact that she needed shares of the girl's father's property and so on. Her grievances was the fact that she wanted her sister not to get married into that family, that she refused to listen. And this is what happened. So she started maltreating this girl so much. The girl grew up to a young girl. They started maltreating her and so on. In fact, living, she had only girls. She had 2 girls, and her sister's daughter joined. That's 3 girls. You can imagine when you have children, at least house chores should be shared equally to these girls, but rather she will pack all the chores and give to the sister's daughter. The sister's daughter started suffering and suffering and suffering. But in all the struggles in life, I hope there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. So when they grew up to be young, beautiful girls. At least her last daughter is actually nice to a fault. So they always do chores together. So due to always sending her on errands, go to the market, do this, do that, do this, and so on, she met a very rich guy. Please, this is not a movie. This is a true life story. Yes. She met this rich guy. And the rich guy, well, that's when they sent her to the market. She met this rich guy and said, please, my dear, you are sweating so much. Can I help you? Can I take you home? And she now asked, can I take you home? She now said, no. The rich guy insisted that, no, that you're suffering, you're sweating so much. Let me just help you. And not knowing that rich guy, immediately he saw her from afar. That love at first sight. He liked her so well. And she actually looked married, like a wife material and so on. So he dropped her at home, and they began to see like that. Whenever they send her on an errand, she will always see the guy. The guy will come and pick her, take her to the market and bring her back, but without the auntie knowing, because the auntie is actually very, very mean. One fateful day, the guy now proposed to the lady that he really loves her and he wants to get married to her. And of course, who don't want that? Because of the suffering and so on. The lady agreed and consented to it and told the guy that, okay, that this is what we're going to do. And do you know how good that lady is? She never told that guy that that's her auntie she's living with. She actually portrayed it that that's her mommy. And then the guy decided to come to see her parents with his best friend. They came to the house to see the parents of the girl and to make their intentions known. You can imagine what the auntie did. You can just imagine what the auntie did. The auntie welcomed them like a good woman. Then she called her first daughter, because obviously no suitor has come for any of her daughters except this her sister's daughter that stays with her. That she called her eldest daughter to come and serve them drinks and some, cola and so on, this traditional way. You could imagine the short thing she was actually wearing. Oh my God, to seduce them. And then the whole thing was pissing off the guy, that because the guy and the friend could actually understand what's going on, because she was actually trying to flaunt her daughter to the man. And unfortunately, this guy didn't come for your daughter. He came for your sister's daughter to marry her. And so, problem has started. The woman, their mother started getting so angry that why? That's after the visitors had gone. That so the only thing you do is to go out whenever I send you to bring different men to come and see me, that you must be very stupid. That anything you do, just be rest assured that my first daughter is your senior and my first daughter must marry before any one of you. You can imagine, this is a story of your biological sister's daughter trying to get married and you are hindering that person. So the woman hindered the lady from going out. She doesn't go out anymore. She kept bombarding this girl with house chores. Auntie now said, okay, that since you have been at home, please just go and get us some ingredients for cooking. She sent her to the market. So because it's been long, she saw her fiance, she took out the opportunity to go and see the fiance. And the fiance was so excited that because he was about to travel out of the country and to prepare for their wedding and so on. So he took her measurement for wedding gown and so on. After all the catching up, he brought her back home. But though he did not enter the house, he brought her from a far distance. And meanwhile, the auntie was at the gate waiting with the cane. You can imagine an auntie waiting with a big cane, a girl big enough to get married. You want to flog her with whips and so on. So when the girl saw the auntie from afar, well, if it were to be me, I'm going to kick off and start running. But rather, she did not do so. She stayed back and came and told the auntie what happened, why she came late. The auntie refused to hear anything. The auntie flogged her and flogged her and flogged her until the flogging injured her eyes. That is, it damaged her eyes terribly. So when her uncle came back, he was coming back from where he went to. Then he saw the way they were maltreating and beating her terribly. So he had to come to rescue, helped the lady, and he bundled her with his last daughter. They took the orphan girl in. They took her to the hospital. They treated her, and unfortunately, the doctor said that the cane and everything really affected her eyes badly. That it only takes the miracle of God for her to see again. And her fiance came back from the trip. After they discharged her from the hospital, her fiance came back from the trip, and he brought a lot of things for the girl. That is in preparation for their wedding. Brought wedding gowns, clothes, everything. Do you know what her wicked auntie did? She carried those clothes and gave to her first daughter to be using. And every time the man keeps coming, because she's already blind, she couldn't see again. She's always indoors. So whenever her fiance comes, her auntie will always tell the fiance that she's not around, that she has gone to the village to go and meet her people. Meanwhile, she's actually